So right now the entire Justice League is thought to be dead and has disappeared, leaving only certain heroes such as Batman, Cyborg, and others left to uncover the pieces, and forced to work alongside Lex Luthor and his little team of supervillains. Now my name is AJ here at the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So in the last part we seen Alexander Luthor, an alternate Earth 3 version of the normal Lex Luthor, who in this case was going around killing superpowered beings and taking their abilities. So mainly right now he has the powers of Shazam and Earth's 3 version of the Flash, among many others. And so with it, he starts to decimate and kill Batman and Lex Luthor's team, as you see him put a hole in Bizarro's chest, with Lex Luthor going over the body, vowing for revenge to take out his alternate self. But moving over, we then see the Crime Syndicate, who is an alternate evil version of the Justice League, with Ultraman being the counterpart of Superman, their leader, as this Alexander Luthor plans to invade the mainline DC world to take it over and burn it to the ground. So the main Lex Luthor then brings together his team of supervillains, forming a plan to take down this crime syndicate once and for all. And as I said before, this Alexander Luthor has killed their Earth's version of Shazam and stole its powers. And Lex Luthor thinks that Black Adam can use his same magic lightning to transform Alexander Luthor back to base form. But there's one problem. Earlier before, Black Adam and Ultraman had a fight, in which Ultraman won and crushed Black Adam's jaw, meaning he cannot talk and summon the lightning correctly. But Sinestro is here and is going to use his ring to fix his jaw momentarily. And so Lex Luthor gives them a lightning rod so they can stab it into the Alexander Luthor and draw the lightning to him. And so with that, these two set off. And where is Batman and the other superheroes during all of this? Well, as I said before, the entire world thinks the Justice League is dead, killed by the crime syndicate themselves. And as we pick up with Batman and Cyborg in a secret room in the Watchtower, which the crime syndicate took over, we see them with Firestorm. And as it turns out, no, the crime syndicate obviously didn't kill the Justice League, but they did imprison them inside of the Firestorm's matrix. But unfortunately, there are too many minds and personalities inside of Firestorm, meaning if they don't do something quick, he's going to blow up and take everybody with him. So Batman comes up with a plan to use the Lasso of Truth, planning to use its connection to Wonder Woman, who is trapped inside of Firestorm along with the rest of the League, to free everybody and save the day. But a little more on that later, as you then move back over to see the massive fight going on outside, with Black Adam Sinestro trying to stop and stall Alexander Luthor. And at first his alternate Alexander pays no mind to Sinestro, because as a ring bearer or someone who uses a power ring, he has no real natural abilities to steal. But this is his downfall, as Sinestro uses this to stab him in the chest with the rod, which leaves him open for Black Adam to come from behind and eventually uses his trump card, yelling out Shazam, as a giant lightning bolt comes from the sky, striking this alternate Lex Luthor, with the evil Superwoman being caught in the blast as well. But as the dust and smoke clears, we see that the lightning literally has no effect, as Alexander Luthor literally says, "Your lightning, is that the best you can do?" as he laughs it off, before turning his attention to the Lex Luthor, gunning straight for him and pummeling him into the ground. And Lex Luthor stands absolutely no chance against this alternate version of himself, with Alexander Luthor going on to say, "I knew who you are as soon as I looked into your eyes." And yes, Ultraman was right. This Earth is full of weaker versions of ourselves, as he holds him up by the neck, punching into him, saying that I am stronger than you, more powerful, I am better than you. And if any of you guys have seen The Boys, kind of reminds me of that one famous Homelander speech where he said about the same thing. With it looking like Lex Luthor has no chance to survive, and this may be his last moments, as he coughs up blood, but just then, he then begins to speak, saying maybe you're right, maybe you are all those things, but I am still you. And I sound exactly like you, as he pushes and touches the lightning rod that is still jammed into his chest, and says Shazam backwards, Mazaz, because on the alternate Earth, Earth 3, Billy Batson, instead of saying Shazam to transform, his transformation word is it backwards, and because Lex Luthor shares the same voice as Alexander Luthor, the magic works all the same, as the lightning bolt comes crashing down into the sky, into Alexander Luthor, and actually working this time, transforming him back into his base human state, as Lex now has the upper hand, using his suit, pulls out a blade and stabs him in the chest, almost instantly killing him on the spot, with him going on to say, I may not be as strong or powerful as you Alexander, but I am smarter, as he looks the dying man in his eyes, claiming his absolute superiority over him and victory. But of course things are never easy, as this isn't over, because just then he is hit from behind by a tree, and it is none other than Ultraman himself, who of course being an alternate version of Superman, still has an almost invincible level of power. But Ultraman doesn't know just how wrong he is, because for him he has two main weaknesses. Instead of getting stronger with sunlight like Superman would, he gets weaker. and instead of getting weaker within the radius of kryptonite, no, he needs to consume kryptonite to keep his abilities and to get stronger. And so because of this, over the last days, he used up all of the kryptonite sources on Earth, meaning right now he is progressively getting weaker and there's not much he can do about it. But at the very least, right now he plans to put Luthor down for good, as he lasers his weapons, getting ready to finally put his fist through his head and end this once and for all. But just then, we then see a bunch of really important things happen. First of all, a beam of sunlight comes through, burning Ultraman to the touch. As you see, Black Adam Sinestro literally pushed the moon out of the way of the sun, which it was put there previously by Ultraman himself to block it out and keep him empowered. Secondly, as I was saying before, Batman finally reaches through to Wonder Woman, freeing the entire Justice League from inside of Firestorm. And with the light of the sun, here come the heroes. As you see Ultraman on the floor, very quickly and progressively getting weaker, crawling for help, with Lex Luthor now on top. And Ultraman finally seeing that he is defeated and his whole plans are foiled, he tells Lex Luthor to just kill him, to get it over with, put him out of his misery. But Luthor takes pity and disgust on him, saying, no, you are going to stay this way, Ultraman, knowing that you are the weakest man on the planet, in body and in mind. But moving over to the now freed Justice League, we see them in various stages of hurt or dismay, and Superman having the worst of it as he has kryptonite poisoning and is literally dying from the inside out. Because as the Justice League goes on to say, before they were imprisoned, Atomica, basically an evil version of the Atom, shrunk down and put a sliver of kryptonite in his head. And if you're wondering what even happened to her, well, somewhere after the battle, Lex Luthor found her while she was in her smaller form and stepped on her, killing her. But I mean, nobody really cares about Atomica, so moving on. Meaning right now, if nobody can help him quick, Superman is going to straight up die. But just then, a voice rings out, saying I can, and it is the least person you would expect to help Superman. It is Lex Luthor, coming in saying yes, I can help Superman. As you then cut over to an undisclosed amount of time later, and we see an operating table with a tweezer with a little piece of kryptonite and blood dripping, with Superman coming up off of an operation table, holding his head and saying what happened, as he looks over and up and sees Lex Luthor, as Lex Luthor then goes on to say, I just saved your life, something that Lex Luthor would probably never let Superman live down. That Lex Luthor, his greatest enemy and just a mere human, saved his life. Moving from this though, we then see the aftermath of everything. Initially starting with the supervillains, there is no question and doubt that these villains, murderers, and bad people helped save the Justice League and the entire world. But due to Lex Luthor's meddling, any charges against them went into question and eventually he got them cleaned. But of course, even if they didn't, some people on the team wouldn't care either way, as Sinestro, an alien from space, and Black Adam, the ruler of Kahndaq, just fly off laughing. Now switching over, two very important things of note happen here. First of all, we see Lex Luthor uncover a big secret. After searching through disappearances and things of that nature during this whole chaos, he finds out that Batman is Bruce Wayne. And secondly, Superman reveals why the crime syndicate even came to this reality in the first place. It was because theirs was destroyed, and in one of the last parts, if you remember, there was a giant red crack in the sky. Well, it seems like Superman thinks Darkseid destroyed the world and is now coming to this one. But in reality, what's really happening is it was the Anti-Monitor himself, who was going around destroying planets and even universes, gathering more power and getting stronger, getting ready to face Darkseid himself, meaning the Justice League is going to be caught in a crossfire. But for now, that is the end of this Forever Evil storyline and the end of this video. Now if you enjoyed, leave a like, or subscribe if you're new and enjoy this type of content and want to see more. Now this was the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.